Charles Tombe. A South Sudanese man named Charles Tombe was forced to marry a goat with which he was caught engaging in sexual activity in the high Malakal suburb of Juba, South Sudan. The owner of the goat subdued the perpetrator and asked village elders to consider the matter. One elder noted that he and the other elders found the perpetrator, tied up by the owner, at the door of the goat shed. The goat's owner reported that, "They said I should not take him to the police, but rather let him pay a dowry for my goat because he used it as his wife." The perpetrator was thus ordered to marry the goat, pay the cost of the goat. Noura Alit. A Balinese teenager caught in the act of intercourse with a cow passed out on Friday when he was forced to marry the animal in a ceremony witnessed by hundreds of curious onlookers. As the Jakarta Globe reported earlier in the day, Noura Alit, 18-old, an unemployed youth from the seaside village of Yambang in Jembrana, was caught stark naked positioned behind the cow in a rice paddy field. In his defense, Alit admitted to the act of bestiality but claimed the cow, which he believed was a young and beautiful woman, had wooed him with flattering compliments. As part of a Pekaruan ritual, a ceremony to cleanse the village of the unholy act of a man mating with a cow, Alit was forced to marry the animal. Selva Kumar married to dog. When the Indian young man Selva Kumar was 18 years old, he stoned and clubbed to death 2 dogs he had found engaged in mating. He then hung their carcasses from a tree. That's the moment when he claims that his personal suffering began. His legs and hands became paralyzed and he lost hearing in one ear. 15 years later, Kumar could no longer take the physical pain of the dog curse, so he sought the advice of an astrologer. What was the cure for his maladies? Marry a dog. That is just what Kumar did in November 2007 with a 10-year-old female dog named Selva. Mark Matthews. In 1992, Mark Matthews married his pony named Pixel. The television personality Jerry Springer tried to unravel the mystery of these relations on his talk show in 1998. However, he failed because talking about zoophilia seemed too outrageous for some TV directors. Therefore, the show was never broadcast. In 2010, Uwe Mitscherlich, a German man, wanted to tie the knot with his asthmatic cat Cecilia as soon as vets told him that she didn't have long to live. However, because marrying an animal is illegal in Germany, the 39-year-old Mitscherlich had to stage the bizarre ceremony, which he paid an actress $395 to officiate. Actress Kristen Maria Laurie asked him to say, "I do," and Cecilia to say, "meow," before pronouncing them man and cat wife. In December 2010, Joseph Gusso, a 20-year-old Australian man, married his best friend, a 5-year-old Labrador. Joseph Gusso and Honey were joined in matrimony at Toowoomba's Laurel Bank Park in Australia, and the real surprise is that 30 friends and family members turned up to witness the event. Gusso calls himself religious and claims that he felt guilty living with Honey out of wedlock. Even so, he assured people that it's not sexual. It's just pure love. The pair decided on the wedding during a walk through Laurel Bank Park one afternoon. Spying another wedding taking place, Mr. Gusso had an idea. In January 2009, in a bizarre ritual, 2 7-year-old girls from the remote Palapudupat village in India were married to frogs. The ceremony was conducted to prevent the outbreak of mysterious diseases in the village. The girls, Veenswari and Masiakani, dressed up in traditional bridal finery, gilded saris and gold jewelry, and married the frog princes in separate, elaborate ceremonies at 2 different temples in the presence of hundreds of villagers. The villagers threw themselves into the ceremonies with gusto, while residents living in the western part of the village acted as relatives of the brides and those from the eastern part acted as relatives of the grooms. The ceremonies had all of the usual elements of a traditional marriage, including a sumptuous feast. Rogers. In a rather strange turn of events, a woman has vowed against men and married her pet dog. 47-year-old Amanda Rogers from Brixton in South London was married to a man 20 years ago, but the relationship unfortunately lasted no more than a few short months, so dismayed she decided to swear against men and turn to dogs. Amanda states that the reason she decided to wed her pet dog was because she had all the qualities that she was looking for in a life partner. Sheba had been in my life for years, making me laugh and comforting me when I was feeling low. More than 200 people attended the wedding, which took place in Split, Croatia. Sharon Tendler, a millionaire woman who married a dolphin. In December 2005, Sharon Tendler, a 41-year-old eccentric British millionaire, married the love of her life, a dolphin named Cindy, at an Israeli resort. Sharon Tendler met Cindy 15 years earlier when she first visited the resort. Tendler took a liking to the dolphin and made a habit of traveling to Israel 2 or 3 times a year and spending time with her underwater sweetheart. After a years-long romance, Tendler decided to marry with Cindy on the afternoon of December 28, 2005. The thrilled bride, wearing a white dress, walked down the dock before hundreds of astounded visitors and kneeled down before her groom, who was waiting in the water. Regrettably, Cindy died on the afternoon of June 18, 2006, and her remains were disposed in the ocean. Mangli. An 18-year-old Indian girl has married a stray dog as part of a tribal ritual designed to ward off an evil spell. Mangli Munda, from a remote village in the eastern Indian state of Jharkhand, wed the canine in a lavish ceremony. The wedding was hastily organized by village elders after a local guru led Mangli's parents to believe that the teenager possessed ill luck and that marrying a man would bring destruction to the family and her community. The baffled dog, Sharu, a stray found by the girl's father, was brought to the wedding in a chauffeur-driven car and welcomed by revelers. At the wedding ceremony, people danced to traditional drumming, while around 70 relatives and local villagers attended the wedding.